From beautiful Remington Park in Oklahoma City, it is the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, presented by Sailor Jerry's. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew Spino, joined ringside by the former Oklahoma heavyweight champ Darren Humphreys. This is an exciting night of boxing here in Oklahoma City. Our main event, the Cruiserweight title, now vacant, is on the line. We have Rob Ivins and Braden Smith fighting in our main event. Darren, break down this fight for us. What's the difference between these two fighters?
Well, first, I think it's a classic boxer-puncher matchup. You know, obviously with Smith being the boxer, Ivins being the puncher. There is a 20-year age difference. That could come into play, but to me, a fight's a fight. Regardless of the age, I think they're both going to come in prepared.
Smith, a tall and rangy guy. Ivins likes to come in low on the inside. What kind of action should we expect in this bout?
Well, I think, Ivins is going to bring the fight to Smith. It's going to be Smith's job to keep him on the outside and do what he needs to do. A fight's a fight, like I mentioned, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great fight.
It's going to be a great night of boxing here at Remington Park. We have our main event, the Cruiserweight title, on the line, plus several more terrific bouts you will not want to miss. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Introducing Quantum CBD H2O, a premium perfect pH phytocannabinoid water beverage with electrolytes and minerals, chemicals solvent-free, organically derived nutrients, non-GMO, THC-free, phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum PCX technology. Scientifically developed for the human condition. Experience the entourage effect. Feel the power. Revitalize, rebuild with Quantum CBD H2O. Introducing Quantum CBD H2O, a premium perfect pH phytocannabinoid water beverage with electrolytes and minerals, chemicals solvent-free, organically derived nutrients, non-GMO, THC-free, phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum PCX technology. Scientifically developed for the human condition. Experience the entourage effect. Feel the power. Revitalize, rebuild with Quantum CBD H2O.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Time for dinner.
Let's go.
Guys, I said no gloves at the table.
Listen to your mother.
Metro PCS brings you closer than ever to the UFC. Anytime, anywhere. On a reliable network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
Canelo, be bold! Hey, Canelo. No bueno. Be bold. Good there. Hey. Be bold then.
Tecate Light. Born bold.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with Quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using Quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TV, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Welcome back to the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, presented by Sailor Jerry's. This fight is in the heavyweight division. Brian McVeigh, undefeated inside the ring with an extensive MMA career. Brian McVeigh wearing the black trunks with the red trim. He is already in the ring, taking on a very experienced veteran, Aaron Chavers. I'm Andrew Spino. Joining us ringside, Darren Humphrey, former heavyweight champ. Darren, how do you match these guys up?
Well, I know there's going to be some bad blood. As far as what happens, I'm not sure. I look forward to this fight. You know, during the weigh-in, they both seem fairly aggressive towards one another, if that's the word I'm looking for. You know, from what I understand, they both used to train at the same gym, and then Chavers had left that gym, and then from there, I think that's where the bad blood started.
There is a little bit of bad blood. These two have been circling each other a while in the MMA and boxing world. Let's see how it shakes out. Send it up into the ring. Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues here with the big nun of boxing. 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the heavyweight division. Proudly brought to you by Quantum CBD H2O. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at an official 260 pounds. His professional record stands at 1 win with no defeats, 1 draw, 1 win coming by way of knockout. From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, Brian the Lion McVeigh! And his opponent from across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at an official 234 pounds. His professional record stands at 7 wins with 3 defeats, 1 draw, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, A.C. Chambers! We go to Gary Ritter for your instructions.
Instructions are going to give us a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. The navel's the foul line. Your trunks are good. Touch your gloves. Go at the belt.
Heavyweight action at Remington Park. Brian McVeigh in the blue corner. Aaron Chavers in the red. I've seen Brian McVeigh fight several times as an MMA fighter. He is a tough guy, and in his last fight in June, he knocked out Marvin Babe, who actually fought on the last HD boxing card at Remington.
Yeah, well, one thing I noticed about this fight is we've got bad blood, and we've also got about 500 pounds inside the ring right now. So to me, that tells me there's potentially going to be a good knockout.
These are two big heavyweights. McVeigh coming in at 260 pounds. Shavers at 234. You're right, almost just shy of 500 pounds of fighter inside the ring. When it's a grudge match, when there's bad blood between the fighters, how does it affect you mentally going into the ring, Darren?
Well, I think it can help you in training camp, but when you get to actual fight time, you kind of have to push that stuff out the window because you've got a job to do in there and you've got a game plan and you've got to implement it. And if you're high on emotion, that can easily take you out of your game plan.
Emotion versus intellect. There's a fine balance there in the fight game.
Good 1-2 there by Shavers.
So Shavers landing pretty effectively.
Oh, and then McVeigh comes back with a good left hook right hand. I mean, this is a good fight starting off.
Well, something clever that Shavers did was he jabbed up top and then threw the right hand to the body. And now he's throwing some hard shots as McVeigh's back is up against the ropes. Shavers appears, by the look on his face, like he's in control of this fight.
Yeah, I think he's got to be careful, as we talked about. You know, there's 500 pounds in here, so one punch can change everything. I feel like he's maybe coming forward, maybe a little out of control, maybe, if that makes sense. He's a little bit wide, and I would look for McVeigh to maybe counterpunch with a uppercut, and, you know, that could change everything.
Not only that, when Shavers was up against the ropes, he had his hands down by his waist.
Right.
Which, when you're up against a 260-pound guy, is a dangerous position to be in.
Sure is. Oh, good left hook to the body. Great body work here by Shavers.
Brutal right hands to the ribs of Brian McVeigh.
Another looping right hand over the ear, too.
If Shavers keeps piling up those body shots, I can see McVeigh certainly paying a price by round 4.
Yeah, and we talked about Shavers looking like the more aggressive, you know, mentally tough fighter, but McVeigh looks pretty relaxed, and, you know, this is a long fight. There's several rounds to go, so you don't want to blow everything initially.
It's true. Both these guys really like to hold their left hands down low.
Yeah.
McVeigh, or rather Shavers, trying to capitalize on that with the lead right hand. Wasn't quite in range to make it land, though. This is the end of round 1. We have round 2 of this heavyweight bout coming up.
Introducing Quantum CBD H2O, a premium perfect pH phytocannabinoid water beverage with electrolytes and minerals, chemical solvent-free, organically derived nutrients, non-GMO, THC-free, phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum PCX technology. Scientifically developed for the human condition. Experience the entourage effect. Feel the power. Revitalize, rebuild with Quantum CBD H2O.
Here in Tornado Alley, severe weather can strike at any moment. Don't leave your family exposed. Protect them with a tornado-safe certified shelter. Convenience is the key when it comes to safety during a storm. The underground garage units are installed right in your garage. This eliminates the need to go outside during a storm and doesn't require the use of valuable square footage. Tornado Safe above ground safe rooms meets and exceeds FEMA 321, 360, and ICC 500 protocols, which includes impact testing, design pressure testing, and uniform load structural pressure testing.
Welcome back to the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, brought to you by Sailor Jerry's. This is the second round of a heavyweight bout. Aaron Shavers, 7-3-1 with the blue trunks and white stripe. Brian McVeigh, undefeated with a record of 1-0-1 with 1 KO in the black trunks with the red stripe. Darren, how did you have round number 1?
Well, I think I would give that round to Shavers. You know, not only did he look more aggressive, I felt like he landed the cleaner, harder punches. And as I say that, McVeigh comes out in this round, you know, throwing his jab, leading with a good jab, and throwing the right hand behind it. So I think maybe he's coming out with some more intention this round, maybe feeling like he knew he lost that first round.
You know, McVeigh really has a look on his face of determination and I have to say calculation. He has a look on his face like he's setting Shavers up for something.
Yeah, and I think they kind of switched, mindsets. You know, earlier we talked about Shavers maybe being the more aggressive-looking fighter. Oh, good right hand behind the ear of Shavers, or McVeigh landed a good right hand behind the ear of Shavers. And I think McVeigh's landing a good jab here. You know, it all comes down to both guys have their hands down, so. Oh. Another good right hand there by Shavers.
You know, and even though Shavers has landed a lot of heavy shots, including some very hard body punches, McVeigh doesn't appear to have a tremendous amount of respect for his punching power.
No, he doesn't. And that's a great point. He's still coming forward, punching that jab. I think probably McVay. I mean, you wouldn't think so with the experience different, you know, for Shavers, but I think McVay probably looks like the more, you know, he's got a better, you know, better style as far as boxing goes, in my opinion. He's a little more relaxed and throwing good punches.
And throws a nice right hand across the guard of Aaron Shavers. Shavers talking to him as if to say it didn't hurt. But I think Shavers was rattled as we saw the sweat just fly after McVay landed that heavy right hand.
And we all know what it means when you say it or act like it didn't hurt.
Right. Shavers very rangy with that jab.
Yeah, he is, and he landed a good one there. Oh, great right hand there by Shavers.
And he threw it over McVay's lazy right hand, or rather
left hand,
lazy left hand jab.
Oh, great body shots here by Shavers.
If there's anything McVay has been asking for all night, it is an overhand right over that lazy jab.
That's a great point. And McVay landed a great left hook to the body there on Shavers.
Great heavyweight action here at Remington Park. End of round 2. Round 3 coming up.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TVs, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Here we go, round 3. Heavyweight action at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. Brian McVay in the black trunks with red stripe. Aaron Shavers, blue trunks with white stripe. Very interesting round. There was back and forth action throughout round 2. Darren Humphrey, how do you have the fight scored so far?
Well, I think I've got it 2-0 Shavers. I don't think there's big disparity in the rounds, but I do think he's doing enough, landing certainly the harder punches to win both of them.
Well, now what's interesting is you said you think McVay is actually the better boxer, but he's behind.
Yeah, and that's because, you know, I think Shavers is throwing with more intention. I think McVay maybe has a little better technique, but that doesn't translate into winning.
And Shavers really finished round 2 with some solid, heavy body shots, about 5 or 6 of them. And as we can see, McVay a little soft around the midsection, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as we get later in the fight.
Yeah, and I think during that second round, I think McVay came out with some intention in the first half of the round, but I think Shavers took over. You know, he's obviously the stronger fighter in my opinion, or he looks like the stronger fighter. His punches seem to be harder.
Well, Shavers landed a nice overhand right, but then McVay came with a right hand that rattled Shavers, and Shavers once again let out that little whoop of dismissal, but I'm guessing it hurt.
Yeah, and if you notice there for a few seconds, McVay had his head buried in Shavers' chest and was throwing body punches, and I'm not too sure that's not the best thing for him to do at this point. I think staying on the outside, Shavers is going to, you know, jab him and right hand him to death. And, you know, I think McVay needs to work his way in, get the head on the chest, and go to work.
Yeah, you nailed it. Shavers is shredding him from the outside.
Oh, good left hook, right hook there by Shavers.
Shavers, when they're in the center of the ring, completely dictates the action of the fight with that jab, that long right hand. McVay, I think you're right, needs to bore in, get his face right in Shavers' chest, but he has not been able to so far.
Yeah, and he keeps eating those long jabs. Shavers has a pretty good jab, and he throws it out there, and McVay's getting his head pushed back.
And we just got a beautiful spray of sweat on us from a right hand landed by Brian McVay.
Yeah, and, you know, I do think McVay maybe has a little better technique. I think he's more standardized, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but more traditionally technical.
Yes. And where Shavers is, you know, has that more relaxed stance. His hands are down. He's moving a little more. And that works for him, obviously.
We are at the end of round 3, the 4th and final round coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbreds season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TV, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with Quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using Quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
We know why you're awake. You've got something on your mind. Turn those fantasies into reality with Hustler Hollywood. Hustler Hollywood's bright, modern stores are an upscale destination for couples seeking romance. Check out our impressive selection of lingerie, apparel, erotic toys, novelties, and more. Spice up your love life. Visit Hustler Hollywood. Sweet dreams.
Welcome back to Remington Park for the Rumble at Remington, brought to you by Sailor Jerry. This is the 4th and final round of a heavyweight bout. Aaron Shavers in the blue trunks with white trim, and Brian McVay in the black with red trim in ring center, throwing heavy shots. Darren Humphrey, how do you have it scored so far?
Well, I think it's a shutout for Shavers at this point.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think McVay, he's doing some good stuff. He's coming forward, but I think Shavers is, he's more relaxed, and he's keeping McVay on the outside, which is exactly the opposite of what McVay needs to do. And McVay's doing what he should have been doing the whole fight. He's got his head buried in Shavers' chest, throwing body shots and uppercuts.
I think you're right. McVay is much more effective boring his way on the inside. However, I'll give this to Aaron Shavers. When they come out of those tight exchanges, Shavers manages to land 1 or 2 punches on his way out.
Well, and you're right, and that's because McVay is going straight back instead of circling out. He needs to be circling out to avoid those punches, but instead he's going straight back where the longer fighter in Shavers is landing those punches. Oh, good left hook there by Shavers.
And as we saw from Wayne Heath a couple months ago, when you back up and you're a heavyweight with your hands down, you're asking for trouble.
Yes, and I'm not sure I like Shavers being in the southpaw stance here with both of his hands down, because to me, McVay looks like he could throw a looping right hand and land it. And that's what he might be trying to do here.
Well, I think McVay has great power, and from what I've observed, he's actually rattled Shavers twice, so it takes a lot of nerve for Shavers to stand there with his hands down, especially when he's skirting on the ropes.
Right. Well, and I think that has to do with a couple of things. I think he's comfortable, but yet cocky at the same time there, and I think he's a little bit tired at the same time.
This is the 4th and final round of this heavyweight bout. We still have our main event, the Cruiserweight title fight, coming up. But at this point in this heavyweight bout, it appears Shavers pretty much is pitching a shutout.
Yeah, and there he threw a combination to the head and then back to the body. Although McVay lands a really good right hand.
Really big right hand. by McVeigh, but Shavers ate that one, ties him up, and appears to be keeping his composure. McVeigh's a hard puncher, and he landed a solid right hand in the corner.
Yeah, and I think when Shavers backs up and, has his back against the ropes or in the corner, that's when McVeigh's, bringing the heat.
I'm guessing when Brian McVeigh goes back and looks at the tape of this fight, he'll wish he had done it differently.
Sure.
This is the fourth and final round. We'll have the judges' scores coming up.
Canelo, be bold! Hey, Canelo. No bueno. Be bold. Good there. Hey.
Be bold.
Tecate Light. Born bold.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TVs, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Both fighters seem confident they have won the judges' decision. We have the scorecards. Let's send it up to Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout, proudly brought to you by Quantum CBD H2O, goes to the scorecards. Judge Chris Ritter, Jason Greenwald, and Sarah Atwood, all three score the bout 39-37 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, AC Chavers.
All three judges scoring the bout 3 rounds to 1 in favor of Aaron Shavers. Brian McVeigh getting his first defeat inside the ring. Stay with us. We have the Cruiserweight Championship fight coming up.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TVs, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Here in Tornado Alley, severe weather can strike at any moment. Don't leave your family exposed. Protect them with a tornado-safe certified shelter. Convenience is the key when it comes to safety during a storm. The underground garage units are installed right in your garage. This eliminates the need to go outside during a storm and doesn't require the use of valuable square footage. Tornado Safe above ground safe rooms meets and exceeds FEMA 321, 360, and ICC 500 protocols, which includes impact testing, design pressure testing, and uniform load structural pressure testing.
This is a fight for the Oklahoma Cruiserweight Championship. Darren Humphrey, let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
Well, I think we've got some pretty distinct differences here between the age and the style of the fighters. We've got Ivins coming in with 41, Smith coming in at 21. Obviously, there's a 20-year difference in age there. Smith is the taller, rangier, longer fighter. However, they both weigh about the same, so we're looking forward to a great fight.
The disparity being inexperience. Rob Ivins, much more experienced than Braden Smith. We'll see how that shakes out in our main event. Welcome to the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, brought to you by Sailor Jerry. This is our main event of the evening, the vacant Cruiserweight title on the line. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Andrew Spino. Joining us ringside, former Oklahoma heavyweight champion Darren Humphrey. Darren, we talked about this bout at the beginning of this broadcast as being a matchup of styles. Tell us how you have it broken down.
Well, that's a good question. I would expect, Smith would keep Ivins on the outside. We know Ivins is going to bring the fight to Smith. It's kind of like it's been all night. We've had styles make fights, and we've kind of had that every fight tonight. I feel like probably this fight's going to go the distance, but I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet.
Well, Braden Smith undefeated in the ring, 2-0 with one knockout. At the same time, he comes in with a record of 8-2 as an MMA fighter. And Rob Ivins, 6 bouts, all of them in Oklahoma, comes in with a record of 4-2, 2 KOs. This will be an interesting title fight. Let's send it up to Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome here to your main event of the evening. Proudly brought to you by Pink Parrot. 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the Cruiserweight division. And this is for the vacant Oklahoma Cruiserweight title. With those in attendance and those joining us at home via telecast, it's Fight Night! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at an official 192 pounds. His professional record stands a perfect 1, 2 wins with no defeats. 1 win coming by way of knockout. From Choctaw, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, Braden H.P. Smith. And his opponent from across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at an official 194 pounds. His professional record stands at 4 wins with 2 defeats. 3 wins coming by way of knockout. From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, Big Ivins. We go to Gary Ritter for your instructions.
Okay, gentlemen, this is a 6-round championship fight. Conduct yourself as champions. You received your instructions earlier. Give us a spirited, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch your gloves. Go at the bell.
This is our main event of the evening. The vacant Oklahoma Cruiserweight title on the line. Rob Ivins in the blue and gold trunks. Braden Smith in the red with white trim. Here we go. Round number 1. Darren Humphrey. Rob Ivins dropped quite a bit of weight to come down to cruiserweight. How might that affect him?
Well, it could go one of 2 ways. He's obviously come down from being a big heavyweight. He still looks strong. It might affect him in a positive way. He looks like he's maybe ready to go 6 rounds to me.
Braden Smith, a very lateral fighter, while Ivins really loads up on every single shot. The longer this fight goes, is it better for Braden Smith?
Well, that's a good question. Ivans has, more fights as far as boxing goes, so, I think maybe he's going to be a little more comfortable going into the later rounds. Both guys look like they're in great shape. Smith, obviously, he's ripped up, but as we just talked about, Ivans come down from being a heavyweight, so he looks ready as well.
And Ivans absolutely built like a fire plug. Just, you could not design a fighter better to bore in, throw his face right in your chest, and throw hard shots to the body.
And he looks the part.
He does, but he's having trouble working his way on the inside.
Yeah.
Talk about the age disparity between these fighters.
Well, there is a big age disparity, but, it obviously plays in Smith's favor, but Rob Ivans looks like he's ready to go, so I'm not too sure how much that will play into it. As far as age in the ring, there's not too big of a difference, so I don't think it'll play a part in this fight.
Braden Smith, just 21 years old. Rob Ivans, 41 years old. But Rob Ivans fighting like a young man as he bores in and throws heavy hooks down and up on Braden Smith. The crowd may have reacted more than those punches mattered, as Braden Smith really seems to be very effective at long range, throwing the left hand and then a very quick and very accurate right hand.
Yeah, that's a good point. He landed two really good right hands over the top of Rob Ivans' ear, and to me it looked like it had an effect. It maybe gained a little bit of respect from Rob.
And Braden Smith's a very deceptive fighter. He looks like he's going to be throwing a wide right hand, but then rifles it in straight. But now Rob Ivans is really working on Smith as he has him trapped in the neutral corner and working those hooks to the midsection of Braden Smith.
Stop, break, step back, step back.
But with the strength difference, or what looks like a strength difference, I don't know if it really is. Ivans is, kind of leaning on Smith pretty much this whole fight, so that might have an effect on Smith later in the fight.
This is the end of round number one. Round number two coming up.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with Quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using Quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TV, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Here we go, round number two. The Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington in Oklahoma City. This is the fight for the vacant Cruiserweight Oklahoma title. Rob Ivans in the gold and blue trunks, Braden Smith in the red and white. Darren Humphrey joining us ringside. Champ, how did you score round one?
Well, it was a tough round to score. The key word there was aggression. However, I think Smith had the more effective aggression during that round, so I would give that first round to Smith.
And while Rob Ivans is pressing the action, Braden Smith, at least in round one, landed the much more effective punches. But I'll give this much to Rob Ivans. He brings a heck of a fan base with him to Remington Park.
He sure does, and that's going to play into this fight. Whenever he starts thinking he's tired or it's getting later in the fight, these fans are going to lift him right back up.
Braden Smith is very effective with that jab. When he throws the right hand, he brings it back up.
Good right hand by Ivans there. And of course, nice. Smith shakes it off, but we all know that means it was a good punch.
I'd give that exchange to Ivans. Over in the blue corner. Smith, when he throws that right hand, if you'll notice, he flinches his glove up back into position, but then drops it immediately.
Yes.
How vulnerable does that make it?
Well, very vulnerable if Ivins is paying attention to that. Ivins needs to time that and then throw basically what I would call a counter punch as soon as Smith starts doing that.
Yeah, basically a delayed left hook to capitalize at the point at which Smith drops his right hand. There he goes again. He throws a very effective and very accurate right hand, but when he misses, he pulls back and then drops it.
Yes.
I wonder, we've seen Rob Ivins fight a few times. He's generally, being an older guy, a pretty smart fighter. Do you think he'll catch on to that?
Yeah, I think he might, especially as the rounds go on. With good counter right uppercut there by Ivins. That was a good hard punch. Probably the best punch I think he's landed all fight.
And I'll give Rob Ivins this much. He's one of the scariest fighters I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is. He looks the part, and he's playing the part right now.
He does, and he throws his punches really well.
Punch out, your hands are free.
Even when he's not in the best position, he manages to get maximum leverage on that right hand to the body.
Yeah, and that's because he's throwing it with everything he's got. Hopefully that doesn't slow him down later in the round.
We are at the end of round 2 of this 6-round Cruiserweight title fight. Round 3.
Good hooks there by Ivins.
Coming up.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with Quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using Quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
Time for dinner.
Let's go.
Guys, I said no gloves at the table.
Listen to your mother. Metro PCS brings you closer than ever to the UFC. Anytime, anywhere. On a reliable network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
This is the main event of the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, brought to you by Sailor Jerry. Cruiserweight title fight, Rob Ivins in the gold and blue trunk, Braden Smith in the red and white, Darren Humphrey. How do you have it scored so far?
Well, I have it even at this point. I think Smith won the first round, but I think Ivins came back and won that second round due to, I felt like he had the harder punches, and I think he really stole that round in the last minute or so. He landed the harder, cleaner punches.
I think he did steal the round, and you'll notice in that last exchange, Ivins landed a heavy right hand that Braden Smith shook his hand, no, as if it didn't hurt.
Right. Well, and you talked about in that last round about Smith, shaking his hands after the punch. And I think Rob is starting to catch on to that now. And I think all that hand movement that Smith is doing, when he starts to move back, that's when Ivins is bringing the punches back at him. And they're landing. They're being effective.
Now, Darren, it's been a few years since I've been 41, but if I remember correctly, you get tired pretty easily. The longer this fight goes, and we're in the middle of round 3, does Rob Ivins stand a serious chance of running out of gas?
Well, I'm a little older than 41 myself, so I understand what you're saying. But Rob Ivins looks like he keeps himself in shape, takes care of himself, and this isn't his first fight, so, we'll see. That's why we're here. We got 6 long, hard rounds, so, we're going to see. It's whoever is going to win it most at this point. Because to me, it didn't look like either one of them was going to knock the other one out.
You know, Ivins, for his age and his build, is surprisingly quick and crafty on the inside.
Yeah.
He manages to land shots when Smith does not see them coming.
Yeah, and Ivins is doing a good job. You know, he's kind of creeping in a little bit at a time as Smith is going back with his hands down, mind you. And then, like Rob just did, Ivins just did, he landed an overhand right.
I'll tell you this much, that Braden Smith is a tough kid.
Yeah,
he's
there's
taking
no doubt
some hard
about that.
shots, and he's a really good boxer. He lands very effective punches and working from the outside. This fight,
good
really,
left hook there by Smith.
It is.
Oh, great left uppercut, too.
That was a good left uppercut by Braden Smith that Rob Ivins, I don't think, saw coming. He didn't quite have the force on it to knock Ivins back.
Oh, good right hand there by Ivins.
Stop, break.
A very even fight up to this round.
It is, and I think Smith obviously has the skills. My advice to him would be to not necessarily go back, but circle your opponent, get him off balance and throw, maybe a lead left hook, maybe double up the hook to his body and then his head. He's taking away his height advantage by going straight back.
We are at the end of round 3 as Braden Smith lands a hard right hand and another one.
Yep, that was a good round.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TVs, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with Quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using Quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
Canelo, be bold! Hey, Canelo. No bueno. Be bold. Put there. Hey.
Be bolder.
Tecate Light. Born bold.
We are halfway through the vacant Cruiserweight Oklahoma title. Welcome to the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, brought to you by Sailor Jerry. Rob Ivan in the gold and blue trunks, Braden Smith in the red and white. Darren Humphrey, former heavyweight champion of Oklahoma, joining us ringside. How do you have the fight scored so far?
At this point, I have it 2-1 Smith. I feel like he's the better boxer at this point. Ivins is bringing the fight to Smith, but I think that, that height and reach advantage is playing a big part.
Smith might be ahead, but who do you think has the momentum in the fight at this point?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously, the fans are behind Ivan, but, and that, like I said earlier, that's going to play a big part as the fight goes on, and I bet you in Ivan's mind, he's winning the fight. I think he looks like that. And he's landing some good, hard punches.
He is definitely landing the harder punches, if not the more finessed punches that Braden Smith is landing.
Yeah.
But Rob Ivins really has a look of confidence on his face, despite what looks like a very small cut right above his left eye.
Yeah, and Ivins threw a great left hook to Smith's body, and another combination to Smith's head.
Does Ivins think at this point that if he just catches Smith with one of those shots flush, the fight's over?
Yeah, I think he thinks that, and I think his whole fan base thinks the same thing. Something I can say about Ivins that I really appreciate, especially being that Smith is the longer fighter, and Ivins is doing something I haven't seen all night, and he's parrying that jab of Smith.
He is here in round 4. strange as it seems, Rob Ivins is actually out-jabbing Braden Smith.
Yeah.
Now, can he use it to set up the heavy shots that he needs to end this fight? Because I think if he tries to do that as an overall strategy, he's going to lose. Because I think Smith will pick him apart from the outside.
Right.
But he throws heavy shots like that right hand, and it's really a matter of time.
Sure.
Will the sand run out of the hourglass before Ivins lands one of those heavy knockout shots?
Yeah, and I think Braden landed a good counter right hand, right hook, kind of a right hook, right hand punch there. I think it hurt Ivins. Ivins took 2 steps back, circled around, and now he's just kind of standing in front of Smith.
And there was what looked to be a cut starting above the left eye of Rob Ivins. And if there's not a cut, which I can't quite see from this angle, there's definitely a bad mouse forming underneath his left eye. They're going toe-to-toe here at the end of round 4. Round 5 coming up.
We know why you're awake. You've got something on your mind. Turn those fantasies into reality with Hustler Hollywood. Hustler Hollywood's bright modern stores are an upscale destination for couples seeking romance. Check out our impressive selection of lingerie, apparel, erotic toys, novelties, and more. Spice up your love life. Visit Hustler Hollywood. Sweet dreams.
Here in Tornado Alley, severe weather can strike at any moment. Don't leave your family exposed. Protect them with a tornado-safe certified shelter. Convenience is the key when it comes to safety during a storm. The underground garage units are installed right in your garage. This eliminates the need to go outside during a storm and doesn't require the use of valuable square footage. Tornado Safe above ground safe rooms meets and exceeds FEMA 321, 360, and ICC 500 protocols, which includes impact testing, design pressure testing, and uniform load structural pressure testing.
Here we go, round 5 of 6 rounds for the interim, or rather the vacant, Cruiserweight Oklahoma title. Rob Ivins versus Braden Smith. Braden Smith, very tall, very rangy, working his left jab and landing nice combinations from the outside. Rob Ivins boring in and landing heavy hooks every time he can get underneath Smith's jab. Darren Humphreys, how do you have the fight scored so far?
Well, I think I would give that last round to Smith. I feel like he's, doing a little better job keeping Ivins on the outside. I feel like I didn't want to say it earlier, but I think maybe Ivins' age is maybe getting to him a little bit now. I think the youth in Smith is coming out. I feel like he's just doing a little bit better job. He's a little more active.
He is, and a lot more precise. That's not to say that Rob Ivins is out of this fight by any means.
No, not at all. Right.
I think he has the power and he has the determination to land the big shots that could put Smith away. It's just a question of whether he can work his way inside to actually land them.
Yeah, and I think Ivins is more in a counterpuncher role at this point. Earlier, he was coming forward. Now he's kind of letting Smith bring the fight to him and trying to counter. And I'm not too sure that's going to be the best thing.
And it also seems Rob Ivins is not setting up his power punches like he was in the earlier rounds. He's swinging for the fences from the outside, which, against a guy who has a 4-inch height advantage on you is not going to be effective unless you're basically stepping on his toe.
And to me, that shows a little bit of desperation with Ivins. Winging those punches from nowhere, hoping to land the big shot instead of trusting in his boxing skills and, implementing his game plan.
And Braden Smith, laser sharp, with those punches from the outside, landing upstairs and down with 1-2 combinations in that right hand.
Yeah, and Smith looks really good right now. He's going to the body and then back to the head. He's using that jab like he should. And, you know, I've said it many times. Everybody's strong at first. It's who can last. And it looks to me like Smith is, at this point, outlasting Ivins.
And although 6 rounds is half the length of a world title fight, that's still 18 minutes in the ring, which is awfully tough for anyone, much less a 41-year-old guy who just ate a right hand like Rob Ivins did.
Yeah.
Rob Ivins shakes his head as we come to the end of round 5. He feels confident as we are getting ready to go into the 6th and final round of this Cruiserweight title fight. Darren Humphrey, I would have to give that round to Braden Smith, and I have him ahead in the fight. You?
Yeah, I agree. I think Smith is ahead right now. He's kind of made it clear over the last couple rounds. I don't think there's any question at this point.
Braden Smith, although he has not necessarily been dictating the pace of the fight, has really been landing the not harder, but more accurate, consistent, and certainly punch volume. He has Rob Ivins beaten at this point. Is there a way for Rob Ivins to win without a knockout?
I don't think so, not at this point. A knockout would certainly, that changes everything, obviously.
Do you think his corner is telling him you have to knock him out to win?
When the bell rings,
I hope so. If they're being honest with their fighter, they are.
This is the 6th and final round of the Cruiserweight title main event at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. Brought to you tonight by Sailor Jerry. And these two have been really giving it their all in the ring tonight. Rob Ivins.
And Rob is being a little more aggressive here. He landed a clean left hook a few
punch
seconds
out,
ago.
your hands are free.
And those repetitive rights to the body in the clinch tell you that he is determined to come in to finish Smith, because I'm guessing his corner did the right thing and told him you need a knockout to win.
Yeah, and I'm sure probably Ivins recognizes that. As much as he probably don't want to think that right now, it is what it is. Oh, great right hand by Ivins.
Stop, break, step back, step back.
Smith is obviously the taller, longer fighter, but he's got a pretty good chin. Ivins is landing some great punches.
Oh, Smith has been extremely impressive in this fight. He's taken some hard shots to the body and the head. And we were talking earlier about what looked like was going to be a cut opening up above the left eye of Rob Ivins. That has not happened. However, there is a cut on the right bridge of his nose. It's not going to run into the eye, but could certainly affect the judges' thinking as they score this final round.
Yeah, that'll probably play into a little bit of it. But as clean as Smith's punches look right now, I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen.
Smith's best combination has been the double jab right hand, and he seems to catch Ivan with that right hand every time.
Yeah, and
right
what he's doing too, and you got to give credit to Smith too. You mentioned the double jab with the right hand. What he's also doing, because Ivins is pressuring him and coming inside, is he's throwing that double jab and then throwing the right hook to the body, which is really effective.
And then tying him up when he gets in close.
Right.
Again, another right hand. And these
They're throwing some heavy
punches.
leather right now. Credit to both fighters. This is a great fight.
This is the 6th and final round of this Cruiserweight title fight. Both these guys clearly won it. The question is, can Rob Ivins, who I think needs a knockout, pull it off in the time we have remaining in this fight?
Well, he's back to what he was doing the first couple of rounds. He's stalking and walking Smith down. But what Smith is doing, in my opinion, really good is he's not going straight back. He's circling, and I think that's the difference in this fight.
And this is the end of the 6th round. The Cruiserweight title on the line. We will have the judges' decision and an interview with the winner coming up.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TV, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbreds season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
This is the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington. Cruiserweight title fight has gone all 6 rounds. Let's get the decision from Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening, proudly brought to you by Pink Parrot, goes to the scorecards. Judge Sarah Atwood scores it 57-57, draw. Judge Chris Ritter and Jason Greenwald score the bout 58-56 for your winner by majority decision and new Oklahoma Cruiserweight champion out of the blue corner, Braden H.P. Smith.
The official decision, a majority decision for Braden Smith, and the crowd is none too happy as Rob Ivins has a big contingency of fans here at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. Braden Smith, the new Cruiserweight champion of Oklahoma. This is the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington. We'll have final thoughts on tonight's bouts coming up.
I'm Derek Atkins, MMA fighter and boxer here in Edmond, Oklahoma. I'm 10-4 in MMA. I usually wake up with quantum, but if my day of the workout is kicking my butt a little bit worse than usual, I'll grab a bottle. It helps me recover. I feel better. It helps me sleep. I haven't taken any sort of ibuprofen or aspirin since I started using quantum. I'd recommend it to anybody with kind of physical work. Quantum can actually really help you recover and feel like you can actually do stuff with your family, your friends, and just feel better in life.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TV, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Canelo, be bold. Hey, Canelo. No bueno. Be bold. Put there. Hey.
Be bolder.
Tecate Light. Born bold.
Welcome back to the Pink Parrot Rumble at Remington, brought to you by Sailor Jerry Darren Humphrey. Final thoughts on our main event this evening.
Well, my final thought would be what a great fight that was. Really impressed with Ivans being the older fighter. You know, he pretty much brought the fight to Smith the whole time. But in Smith's defense of being the younger fighter, he really fought like the older fighter, in my opinion. He kept his jab going, stayed on the outside. He didn't let Ivans in too much, Obviously, Ivans landed some heavy punches, but to Smith's credit, he weathered the storm and did what he had to do to get the win.
Those punches heavy enough for one of the judges to score a draw. Our new Cruiserweight champion, Braden Smith, with a win over Rob Ivans with a majority decision to take the Oklahoma Cruiserweight title. On behalf of the champ, Darren Humphrey, I'm Andrew Spino. Thank you for another great night of HD boxing. We'll see you again next time inside the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Welcome to my lodge. This temple of wood, stone, and sports is more than just a lifestyle. It's a mentality. At Twin Peaks, we're rooted in forest-to-table comfort food, wall-to-wall TV, and our signature 29-degree draft beer. So, welcome to the lodge mentality. Because here at Twin Peaks, we're all lumberjacks. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.